Your culture is programming your brain without your permission, and you don't even have an idea that it's happening. Dating someone from different culture doesn't only change your relationship. It reveals that everything that you've learned and you thought this is a normal human behavior is actually cultural conditioning that has been running your life on an autopilot. I'm Justina, and dating a Spanish guy didn't only change my relationship status, it also showed me that I have been running on the Polish software all my life, and my culture influenced how I behaved, how I thought, and how I was organizing and living my life. And being in that relationship helped me to upgrade my software, my Polish software, and it saved my life. Before this relationship, I was peak Polish efficiency. Everything planned, everything rushed, everything pressured, and everything organized and extremely disciplined. 5-year plans, backup plans, plans for my plans, option A, option B, option C, name it. I thought that this is how successful people live, and I thought that this is the only right way to live the life. And then I started dating this Spanish guy who not only didn't talk about his plans for the future because he didn't have anything planned, but also he didn't rush through anything. He really enjoyed every moment, like that's the only thing that mattered, and had zero concrete plans except of saying, well, let's see what happens. So my organized, pressured, and very rushed Polish brain was really having a mental breakdown when I was hearing all that. First month, I'm making lists, planning our futures, or at least my future, asking where is this going, to have at least some vague idea what is happening so I can project what will happen in the future and I can make my plans and plans for my plans. He's just existing in the moment, which I couldn't comprehend. What do you mean? You're just existing in the moment and you can enjoy the present moment knowing that you don't know what will happen next. He was really taking things slow when I wanted to rush everything, and I wanted to pressure him into giving me all the answers. My Polish brain was literally screaming, make a plan, set some goals, what's the timeline? I need like more answers. And his brain was more like, why are you rushing? Something good. I thought he was being evasive. He thought I was being intense, and we were both right. But here's what I didn't realize. I wasn't just learning about Spanish culture and this Spanish guy. My brain was literally creating new neural pathways to process a totally different way of being a human being. Because here is the mind blow. Your personality isn't your personality. It's your culture's personality wearing your face. Every culture programs its people with invisible rules about time, success, emotions, and relationships. You think these are universal human truths, but it is actually just local cultural software. For instance, Polish culture programmed me with not only rushing everything through education, growing up, getting a partner, buying a property, and setting all those goals and achieving them as soon as possible, and rushing them through and probably not even enjoying because those things just have to be done and that all that matters, but also that emotions are distraction. It's just better to avoid them, and speed equals success, and just slowing down and enjoy the process is just something I think people cannot comprehend. And Spanish culture runs on a different protocol. It is all about enjoy the process, relationships over schedules. Emotions are information, and slowness can be wisdom. And when you date across cultures, suddenly you have access to multiple operating systems. It's like you've been all your life using Internet Explorer, and suddenly you notice that Chrome exists. And study shows that bicultural people have literally better neural flexibility, better creative problem solving, and higher emotional intelligence. Your brain literally becomes multilingual in ways of human being. But here's the part that will blow your mind. This cultural programming is so deep that it literally affects the way you see the reality. So I was 6 months into this relationship, and suddenly my friends started approaching me and telling me that I don't seem like me. They said that I've changed, that they cannot recognize me anymore. They said that I am less ambitious, I'm less organized, and they said that I am less driven than the Justina that they knew. And to be honest, I felt less organized. I felt less ambitious, and it felt really strange because I really wanted to hold on to that person that I used to be, but at the same time I was remembering that my old self was disciplined, was organized, but I was also stressed. And I really didn't enjoy the process. And even if I achieved something, I wasn't really happy with the outcome because I was moving on to the next goal so fast, I couldn't really appreciate the things that I was doing anyway. I was wondering, are my friends right? Maybe there is something to it. They made it sound like I was transforming into a completely different person. So I was wondering, am I losing myself? Am I losing my edge? Who am I actually? And whether I want to become that person. I was literally torn between who I was and who I was becoming. And yes, my old Polish self was super disciplined on top of the things and organized and crushing everything, but I was stressed. And this new version, maybe a little bit less organized, maybe a little bit more flexible, but at the same time enjoying the present moment. And that's when I discovered something that changed everything. I learned about cultural frame switching, the ability to adapt to different cultures based on the context. Basically, I wasn't losing myself. I was finally accessing the parts of me that the Polish culture has never encouraged. And here are 3 big real changes. Change number 1 was from pressure to presence. I used to live 3 months in advance, always planning my next step and my whole future, like literally until retirement. Spanish culture taught me not only patience, but also that good things happen when you're not forcing them. That slowing down isn't lazy, but strategic. Change number 2 was the planning paradox. Not having concrete plans doesn't mean being irresponsible. It actually means being open for better opportunities. Some of the best things that happened in my life happened when I wasn't too planned to notice. Change number 3 was the emotional flow. So the emotions were something that I used to just avoid and suppress. And I realized that I don't need to schedule emotional check-ins or manufacture the deep conversations just to address them. Real intimacy happens naturally when you're not pressuring it or rushing it into your timeline. And here's a plot twist that this whole cultural brain rewiring thing works. After 5 years of dating, we got married last month. And my friends who said I was changing and they couldn't recognize me anymore, they were right. I had changed into someone more capable of a deeper, more authentic relationship that my old, pressured, organized self could ever handle. Because turns out that taking things slow doesn't mean taking them nowhere. It means taking them somewhere real. And my friends thought I was being less discipline. I was becoming more flexible. And the research actually backs it up. People in cross-cultural relationships show increased creativity, adaptability, and emotional regulation. Your brain literally becomes more sophisticated. So here's what I've learned about cultural brain rewiring. 1. Don't resist the changes, but explore them. When someone's culture challenges your defaults, instead of being defensive, get curious. 2. You're not losing yourself, you're accessing more of yourself. Different cultures reveal different parts of your personality that has always been there. And 3, your friends might not recognize the new you, and that's okay. Growth from the outside literally looks like a change, and only you know from the inside how expansion and true growth feels like. So now we know that dating across cultures literally not only changes your love life, but also changes your brain. And honestly, even if you don't date internationally across countries, we could all benefit sometimes from questioning our cultural defaults. Comment down below what's one cultural difference that challenged the way how you see the world. Let's learn from each other's perspectives. And if you like this video and you want to know more about insights from psychology, optimization, and neuroscience, definitely like this video and subscribe to stick around on this journey with me. And remember, your brain is more flexible than you think. Maybe it's time to find out how flexible. I'll see you in the next video.